What's up guys, Chinzo here. Today I'm back where it all started, at Coleto Creek Park in Victoria, Texas, where just over a year ago I had my first adventure in this trailer. Being here makes me think of how much I've learned over the past year and how far I've come from being that anxious noob that struggled just to park his trailer at the campsite. In this video, I'll recap my journey over the past year and I'll share a few things that I've learned along the way. When I updated you guys last, I was just leaving an RV resort in Houston and heading west to Mesa, Arizona. I had a 1,000-mile journey ahead of me, a full tank of gas, and my trusty road tortoise by my side. This would be my longest tow yet, which brings me to my first topic. I was already a few months into my RVing journey, so I had most of the newbie anxiety behind me. However, I had never towed beyond Texas, and I'd never faced any real elevation. To be honest, I wasn't too stoked on the idea of climbing or descending. For those who are new here, I'm towing a 6,000-pound, 30-foot trailer with a half-ton ram using a Blue Ox Track Pro weight distribution hitch. I'm at the top end of my towing capabilities, so being strategic is my best option. I was all packed up for fall and winter, and my only passenger was my road tortoise Leo, so staying underweight was easily doable. Although I was towing within my means, I still approached this journey with caution. With a 20-gallon fuel tank, frequent gas stops were a slight issue, but I planned them strategically and kept an extra 5 gallons in the back just in case of an emergency. I got about 7 to 10 mpg depending on elevation and wind speed, and I did cut it close a few times, but overall it worked out. I'm in the town of Duncan, Arizona, and once again I'm cutting it way too close. My main concern was a couple of climbs in southern Arizona near Chiricahua Peak and Mika Mountain. I kept it slow and steady and was actually pretty surprised at how well my truck handled the elevation change in both directions. I was able to maintain a reasonable speed and I kept pace with the flow of traffic. The Ram handled both climbs and descents without an issue. I still won't be towing to Denver in this rig, but this trip was a huge confidence booster and gave me a better idea of what my hardy half-ton can handle. A heavy-duty truck is probably still in my future, but for now, the Ram is getting the job done. When I got to Arizona, I was in for a bit of a change as far as what I'm used to and what I expect from a long-term RV park. Which brings me to my next topic, new RV park, who it is. This one sounds pretty obvious, and it's probably why most of us got into RV life in the first place. To experience new places and to have new adventures. But when it comes to RV parks and resorts, I think a bit of consistency in price, comfort, space, and amenities would be nice. However, I quickly found out that's not always the case. I just want to take another look and appreciate the precision with parking this trailer. Like, this is so close here. And there's really no way it could have fit otherwise. Even with the slide out, I don't know if I have a shot of it, but with the slide out, I'm actually touching my neighbor's fencing here, and I'm barely clearing that little water spigot right there. $800 a month in Houston afforded me a roomy site with full hookups and every amenity you could imagine. The same $800 monthly bill at Mesa Gardens got me a tiny awkward pad with minimal amenities and multiple safety concerns. I eventually had to leave because of electrical failures throughout the park. And I think Leah was ready to leave too. It's worth mentioning the majority of luxury RV resorts in the Phoenix area are only available to those over the age of 55. So if that's you, you've actually got quite a few options. But for everyone else, we're left with a slim list of overpriced and underwhelming options. To be fair, the Phoenix area is a great place to live, especially in the winter. This drives up demand, so I can see how RV parks can get away with under-delivering. In my opinion, the real value of living here is leaving your RV and getting out into the mountains. After hopping around a bit, I eventually found a humble home at Sundial RV Park in Peoria, Arizona. Now that I'm settled in, let's step inside and I'll give you a tour. And be sure to stick around because after the tour, I'm going to reveal what is my #1 favorite thing about long-term RVing. Alright guys, so I thought I would go ahead and give you a quick tour of the inside of my trailer. Since I've been living out of this thing for almost a year, I've kind of picked up a few things that I think make the space more functional. So this is my bedroom. I know last time I mentioned to you guys that I was having a really hard time finding a good place to put my bike. It seemed like it was always in the way. So what I started doing is just removing the front wheel and just kind of squeezing it in the space over here. So it's always conveniently out of the way. And as a bonus, I get to sleep right next to my bike. Another thing you might be wondering is why this door is open. Maybe it looks a little bit messy, but for me, this is actually a lot more functional. I keep this door open because I got really tired of closing it and opening it and moving stuff out of the way. I can still use this space to charge devices and to set my drink. And you might be wondering what this contraption is right here. It's not just a fancy hat holder. It's actually a device that holds my iPad. So this is pretty much my little home theater right here. I don't have cable where I'm at, so I just download shows on my iPad, and whenever I just want to watch a movie in bed, I just get real cozy right there, and it's a nice cozy little home theater for me. So moving into the kitchen, you might think this space looks bare and bland, but actually keeping this space clutter-free was a conscious decision that I made. Of course, when you have empty space, the normal instinct is to find useful things to fill that space. But for me, with the amount of cooking and prepping that I do, having every inch of space just open and ready to use is just really useful for me. So as far as the living and lounging space goes, I keep it pretty minimal here. I have my fold-out table that I sometimes use whenever I want to do work over here, or if I need an extra stand for my laptop over there whenever I'm doing voiceovers. And of course, now that I don't have my bike here, it's not blocking any of my storage areas. Very, very useful space. So same thing with the dining area here. It's just very simple. I try to keep it, very clean for the most part. This is kind of my eating space. It's where I also do some work. This is kind of my designated area for clutter. As you guys know, I do film a lot of things. So, I have camera equipment, batteries, chargers, stuff like that. It doesn't look the most organized, but having a space like this allows me to keep the rest of the area pretty clean and once again clutter-free. Now I do want to make my way over to the bunkhouse area. This to me is one of the most important and most versatile and most useful spaces that I think this RV has. This space has doubled as many things. Of course, right now, as you can probably tell, this is kind of another catch-all area. Luggage bags, stuff like that. Just things that I don't use all the time. Down here is pretty much all of my camping gear. But you guys know, if you've followed the channel for a little while, that this space has been many things. It's been a doghouse, it's been an actual bunkhouse, it's been a tortoise habitat most recently, but now it's actually serving a very good purpose, and it's helping me stay organized whenever I go camping. So the bathroom is really nothing special, but while I'm here, I do want to give you guys an update on the Oxygenix Fury shower head that I installed in one of my recent videos. I did have a few of you guys follow up and ask me how it's been working out for me, and I am glad to say that it's been working out amazingly. This has a lot more power and a much better stream than my old original stock shower head. So for those of you who are wondering if the Oxygenix shower head is worth the upgrade, I would say it definitely is. This gets a thumbs up from me. If you ask me, Phoenix is a desert paradise. I've lived here before, so I thought this time around I'll change it up and explore beyond my primary location. Which brings me to one of my favorite things about long-term RVing: setting up camp and then exploring. Living in a park allowed me to take full advantage of my primary location by setting up base camp and getting back to something that I kind of forgot I loved doing: actual camping. I know some of us got into RVing because we didn't want to set up tents or to challenge Mother Nature without modern comforts, but I still love camping, and using my RV site as a base camp between trips made much of the Southwest more accessible to me. I could explore parks in Southern California, Arizona, and New Mexico all within a 6-hour drive, and I never had to move my trailer. This may not seem significant to some, but if you've lived in South Texas, you know that it takes at least 7 hours just to leave the state. So having access to multi-state adventures in the form of a quick road trip was a huge plus for me. Before I close this one out, I want to say thanks for following the journey, and if you're new here, be sure to stick around so you don't miss out on the next adventure.